My question is like, is there a difference between two people, or is like giving regardless?
Well, it says in the Bible to be
or like, why do you have such like a passion to helping someone like me, or kids going through college right now, or just like this age demographic in general?
I guess to take a few steps back, 17 years back, in the depths of the financial crisis in 2008.
So would you say, like, is there a difference between, because I know some people who they're just naturally very generous. It's like they truly view money as like a tool. They're very giving with their time and their money. But I also know people who are really scared to do that because either they don't have a lot, or they're worried about, I don't know, maybe they just don't care enough. But my question is like, is there a difference between, let's just say, person A who gives cheerfully and is like happy to do it, versus person B who still gives, but they're a little bit more resentful, they're a little bit more anxious, they're a little bit about whatever. Is there a difference between those two people, or is like giving regardless?
Well, it says in the Bible to be a cheerful giver. So I think the reluctant giver is not obviously a cheerful giver.
Right.
And so I think that's something that's a hard issue. I think that, it's great that they're giving, but if they're doing it in a resentful way, in a reluctant way, then they're not doing it the right way. And they're not going to experience that freedom that you get by truly giving cheerfully.
Now, this is going to sound like a pretty dumb question, but I think because we talk about it so much, I think it just needs to be answered, because there might be some underlying suspicions on what it actually is. But what is money?
Money's a tool. It's a tool that we need to function in society, because everything has a value that we have to pay for. But it can't be a master. It can't be something that we are devoted to or worship in any way. But God does want us to use it as a tool, and it can be used for good, it can be used for bad. But it is a useful tool.
Now, I want to change gears a little bit, because we were talking about like what money is, like what do we sort of do with it, saving, investing. But I want to talk a little bit more, because you're so passionate about helping Gen Z. And we can circle back to this, but I'd love to know why Gen Z, and why not like the millennials, why not any other age groups, Gen Alpha, whatever, but like why Gen Z? But as we talk about Gen Z, I have a couple different questions I want to ask you that you can speak directly to Gen Z. And the first one I have is, what is the biggest mistake that you are seeing Gen Z make with money right now, just in general?
I think it's in two forms. I think you have two individuals, and I think both are really driven by the social media world that we're now living in. I think it's, and I hate to use the acronyms, but I'm going to use them because everybody understands them. I think you have the FOMO crowd, and I think you have the YOLO crowd. So the fear of missing out, I think that those individuals are living their life based on comparison and what they're seeing on their social media feeds, and thinking that they're missing out and they need to spend to have the same lifestyle as a friend or follower on social media. And then I think the YOLO crowd is caught up in I don't need to worry about that right now. I'm just gonna live my best life today, and I'm 20 years old. The average person lives to their 80 plus, so I'll be okay. I'll figure that out later. And so I think in both scenarios, you have kind of someone that is constantly driven by fear and comparison, and you have the other person that's more kind of status quo and paralyzed really just by not making the right decisions. They're making some decisions, but it's about spending today rather than setting themselves up for a better future.
Okay, so let's go back to that first question that I brought up. Why Gen Z? Why do you have such a we're a wild generation? Full disclosure, I'm Gen Z. I'm 25 years old. So why do you want to help me? Or why do you have such a passion to helping someone like me, or kids going through college right now, or just this age demographic in general? Why?
Yeah, well, I guess to take a few steps back, 17 years back, in 2008.
It's a long time ago.
It is a long time ago. In the depths of the financial crisis in 2008 is when I started my business, and I knocked on doors. I built it the old-fashioned way. It was before, the cameras on the door. But I was 22, looked like I was 15, knocking on doors, and the individuals that I would run into in the middle of the day were people nearing or in retirement, or they just lost their job, or the economy. Every time you turn on the news, the economy was in the tank, businesses were going out, in bankruptcy, and so there was a lot of fear there. And me having a passion for the economy and the markets, I was able to help those individuals at a time when they needed it most. And I can look back with a level of healthy pride. I could say that I did help those individuals to, walk them off the ledge, get them through into retirement and throughout their retirement years, and live in a level of peace. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing the same thing today with Gen Z. It looks different. I think that the way the economy has been going the last 15 plus years, the savers, the retired individuals have experienced a really good stock market. Interest rates have been relatively high, so they've earned good money on their money markets and CDs. But Gen Z is at a point where it's difficult to find a job. Inflation has made it more difficult just to live a normal life. And the unfortunate thing is they're looking for answers, they're just not finding the right answers. And so I felt a calling to help the younger generation so that they could build those habits early, so they don't have to wait till they're 40, 50 to step into my office when it's too late at that point. And so I'm on a mission to help the younger generation and explain it, come back to the biblical timeless principles that I personally believe is very difficult to find on TikTok.
Got it. And so before you went into that, you talked about the difference between FOMO and YOLO. And so my question is, just for the people who are YOLOing it, who are just like, hey, life is short, let's go whatever. Obviously, we just don't have all of our money, and we're not having any fun. We're not we're creating a budget, and we're doing all the, or rather, we're not creating budgets. So we're spending all of our money, but it's for the experience, Kyle. It's we're having fun. We're young. We're only going to be young once. We're going to be 60, 70 years old one day, and we can't even walk anymore.